Good afternoon, West Ham fans. Happy lunchtime. Let's play the football equivalent of Shag, Marry, Avoid. A very happy Thursday lunchtime to you all, my friends, one and all. If you're new and here, where the hell have you been? But thanks for joining us. And if you like what we do, don't forget to subscribe. Over 24,000 of you do. So thank you very, very much. Obviously, we're on the road to Chelsea, Stamford Bridge at the weekend. And it's a long weekend for us. We've got Bank Holiday Monday coming up, which is great. So one day close to that, one day close to me holidays, and also one day closer to the end of the season. Now, it seems me, Anton, Holly, and Alex, and Budgie, and Kieran, and all of us on the West Ham Network, and Jamie, all we seem to be doing is talking about players coming in, managers coming in, head coaches, all that type of stuff. But we know we've got a massive rebuild job happening in the summer. So I thought, let's take some time away. Let's reflect and let's act like we're Tim Steidten. And when I said we, it's not just me, it's Mr. Baker as well. We are Tim Steidten tonight, this afternoon.
We are Tim Steidten. We are.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go through the West Ham squad. And we're going to be, because this is what Tim's doing. We've got three categories.
Well, we hope he is.
We fucking went over. Otherwise, I'll bring my boots for the first game of the season because we might not have anyone to play by the end of it.
Or everyone that we're going to sell or get rid of is going to keep and stay.
Exactly. So
contracts for everyone.
Contracts. No, not for everyone. Anton. That's the issue. So the idea is we're basically going to three blocks. We are going. Simply keep, sell, or release. That's it. And we're going to go through all the first team squad. We're not going through the academy squads to the 21s, the 18s. They're doing that process now in terms of releasing players, telling players in terms of whether they're having their contracts renewed or not. We've seen information trickle. We know some players, Steve Jones's boy, Liam, he was playing for the under-21s of QPR last week. So the assumption is he's probably not going to be offered a new deal and things like that. We know Kenny Brown's son didn't get offered a new deal at Arsenal. He's been training with the 18s at West Ham. That's how it all works. But in terms of the playing the West Ham first team staff. So what we're going to do is go through them all. Me and Anton, we've got our scarves on. We are Tim Steidten in stereo, left and right. I'm going to go through it. And also in the comments, I want you guys to let us know what you would do with these players as well. And I think it's going to be really interesting to get different people's opinions around
100%.
what people want to do with certain players. We've obviously spoken about the likes of Antonio and stuff like that, which we'll talk about again shortly. But there was obviously different opinions.
Russ, like me and you could have different opinions. Holly,
definitely.
Alex, Budgie, Kieran, Luke, Dan, you name it. You watching right now, subscribers are watching it. And you could do it. What's interesting is you could do it from another person's point of view. You could do it if you were David Moyes, or if you were Amarim, or if you were a new manager coming in. Who would you keep? So it's an interesting point of view. So
yeah. Right, we'll start with the goalies. We'll go from one at a time. Areola, what are we doing with him?
Let me have a little think here. Do you know what? He has this season proven why West Ham signed him and why he should be number one. I think he's brilliant. I know you were skeptical at the start, just over a few little flappy-ish occasions, but I think he's growing. He's growing into that role and has clearly became West Ham's number one. And I'm excited for him. I really am. I'm excited about the future of having him in between the sticks for West Ham.
I think obviously naturally when you have a new number one come in, there is. Well, he does that, but he doesn't do that, and he does that, and he does that. And there's, I still would like him to command his box a bit more for a 6'5" bloke. He doesn't impose himself much in the box as much. He's doing it better. He's definitely doing it better. But I think he doesn't utilize his size enough, but his distribution is good as well. He was throwing the ball.
I do think there's a concern defensively, which we'll get into in a minute. And I think that with a strong, competent defense and possibly a player that he's not necessarily played with in Craig Dawson as much as what Fabianski
Good
did,
shout. Yeah, good shout.
then I think that might be the key. The problem is Russ. He's up there in the stats because they're getting through our defense left, right, and center, and he's having to keep West Ham in games.
You're right. And naturally, the way we play, we do bring on pressure. So there's going to be shots on target, no doubt.
And he's called to action more than normal. Therefore,
well, he should be really. I think,
but therefore he is possibly looked at when he doesn't go out for a cross, but he's gone out for 5 already.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, great point. Yeah. Yeah, good point. Okay, moving on to Fabianski. What are we going to do with him?
I think West Ham will keep him, and I think it's.
What will you do? We're Tim Steindl now.
Yeah, right. Okay, so I would keep him. But for only one more season.
Yes.
With the aim that next year is the year that we need to find, the development of moving forward. So yeah, keep him.
I totally agree. I totally agree because we've got a very good crop of 18s and 21 goalkeepers, sort of in between, like you've obviously got Areola and Fabianski, then you've got Trot and Anang, and then you've got a crop of really good goalkeepers, and I think they need a year's loan at least to then have any chance of being in that number 2 slot. Arioli want as number 1 for the next couple of years at least, next few years, and maybe even bringing in a younger one who's got more experience. But the likes of Knightbridge, the likes of Heggie, Mason Terry, we've got some good guys who could make that third. And I think when we talk about the other 2 goalkeepers, I think the likes of Heggie will step up next season into that third berth. In terms of that third goalkeeper.
It's definitely going to be an interesting one because we know the other ones have been out on loan and some are doing okay, some are doing well, and that's probably what these keepers need. But there is only one, or not one. If we're in Europe, there's a couple of opportunities for these players. But yeah, we're kind of spoiled in that department ish.
We are, and I think obviously there is a higher likelihood that we won't have European football next year than we would do. Yeah. So obviously Fabianski's games will obviously only be to the cup games or when Areola gets injured. And as you said, a 1-year deal. I think I think that's happening. It hasn't happened already. It hasn't been officially announced. I don't know if it has or not, but that's the basic plan. Okay, Nathan Trott. So Nathan Trott has been for the last 2 seasons on loan at the same club in Denmark, Vejby which last year they were in the 2nd division. They got promoted to the 1st division. He's played pretty much. I think he has played every game for them this season. In terms of the background, he's out of contract in the summer.
Yep.
And according to reports from what West Ham are going to do, they're going to potentially offer him another deal, but only really to sell him on a profit, a bit like we did with us. So that's his trajectory. What will we do as Tim Steindl?
I mean, we've not seen enough of him. What I would have always hoped for is and remember, we are in a different bubble to what we're used to. So as much as we're saying what would Tim do, I think what Tim would do would probably keep him.
No. Don't think so.
No, I think Tim would keep him because, or a new boss would keep him because let's look at Amarim for example and look at his. I'm not saying he will be our new manager, but this is why I think we should go out there for because he takes gambles on the youth. He always takes a gamble on.
He's 25 now, mate.
I know, but the point I'm trying to make is that we've not saw him, and we're in the bubble we're in. But see, 5 years ago, 4 years ago, if it would changed. We may have some, and there may have been opportunity.
Yeah, but it might have been. I think
the build-up situation is we're in that bubble. That all we've known is what we know, and because of what we know, we base it upon that. But in actual fact, if you put another manager 5 years ago, there's a strong possibility Lucas Fabianski probably wouldn't be there, and one of those 2 players, Trot or Nang, would be number 1 or number 2. So I get your point. Yeah. So it's one or the other with an Ang or Trot. And I don't know. I'll put that one to you.
I'll get rid of both of them.
There you go.
Release both of them, to be honest. Honestly. No, not at all. Not at all. We've got to be ruthless nowadays. We have been too nice as a club. If we want to be a big boy club, we've got to be a bit more ruthless. I think
but we're a bit
sometimes.
too nice with our OAPs.
Exactly, and I think,
terms.
but for me, Joseph Anang's he's had loan spells at Derby, and they've come back. He's had loan, and
Break his arm,
nothing's
do you not?
happened. It's nothing
That's
happened.
impressive.
He's not even same as I mean, Nathan's clearly good enough probably to play in the Danish Superliga, and they're the only they're the only sort of teams who are looking at him in the summer. We've got at at Chadwell Rush Green, wherever they train nowadays, we've got Jacob Knightbridge and Christian Heggie, who are, well, I think Knightbridge could easily be an England goalkeeper in the next few years. He's that good.
Yeah.
And I just think that having these two here blocks him.
Yeah.
If you block and that's we've been talking about all this. No, I want to go. But yeah, I know what you mean. But I think no. Let's clean decks. Clean decks. Let's get these in. Nathan's gone, and so is Joseph. He's gone. He's out of it.
Ciao.
Ciao, Bella. Right.
Ciao,
Okay.
Bella.
Let's go.
Bello.
Defense. Let's go with let's go with the easier ones. Emerson.
Oh, absolutely keep. No brainer.
Easy one.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? I feel sorry for Emerson. I think he's if they'd taken the vote for Hammer of the Year in January, I think he would have probably been really close to winning it. But I just think he's just dipped off the last few months.
I think, but I think that's not necessarily down to him, mate. I think it's down.
No, I don't think. No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, and I think that's just been an unfortunate situation. You know when Paquetá plays, and even when Ben Rama played, they sparked up a bit of a relationship when Ben Rama was there as well. But I think sometimes under a low block manager, defenders are always going to struggle if they're not used to that. No matter what kind of defender you are, you have to be a no nonsense, old school, traditional, hardcore nut job to be able to deal with a low block left, right, and centre. And I look around our team and I don't really see that, if I'm being brutally honest with you. So I don't think it's suited to our style. But
no, you're right.
Palmieri's come out of it looking pretty decent, and is I genuinely I would say he was probably the least inspired signing we made during that time, but he's come out and flourished. So delighted with him.
I agree, and I think you're right. I think he flourished when he had someone like Ben Rama in front of him, or someone like Paquetá in front of him. Without them, he does seem to be just his wings clipped a little bit more than. And it's a shame because when he's in full flight, he's a hell of a player.
I feel like he puts brakes on sometimes when he gets forward. Genuinely, he gets in really good positions, and it's as if it's been rammed down his throat to go, you're not allowed to go any further than what you do. And when he does, sometimes he's got an absolutely crap shot on him, and then sometimes he's got a worldly shot on him.
Yeah, true.
He cannot hit that ball with his right foot. He has no right foot at all.
No, you right. Okay, let's go with Mavropanos.
You got to keep him. I've been skeptical at the start. Still a bit skeptical. I would keep him because it's his first season with West Ham, and I think he's done aye. That's the only way I could say it. I wouldn't say he's done anything spectacular. I wouldn't say he's been absolutely awful. I think he has made mistakes, and he's a bit wild sometimes in his approach to the game. I quite like, I think he would really suit a more forward-thinking West Ham rather than a low block West Ham. And the problem is it's so awkward when you put him in a low block team. That's the only way I could describe it. He's an awkward player for a low block team, which is probably suited to quite a lot of our defenders.
Yeah, no, it's very true. I totally agree. I think he would flourish under I don't know, maybe the Stuttgart manager Sebastian Hoeneß, who he came from. No, I agree. Okay, in that frame of mind, what about Neafaged? Now, obviously, a guy that he, I think, suffers under this low block style of football. With a more progressive manager, I think you see the player who got to the semi-finals of the World Cup with Morocco. I think you see a different player. I know there's a lot of talk about him going. I think Marseille are looking at him. I think there's Saudi money apparently, but I would keep him. I just think he's a hell of a player.
I think he is. 1,000,000%. I think he is a real example of someone that does not suit low block football.
No.
He didn't play that when he was at Rennes. He doesn't necessarily play that when he's at Morocco. He's clever on the ball. He's so pacey, and I really like it. But unfortunately, because of the style of footballer he is, he will take touches. He will try and calm down the play, but you can't calm down the play when you play a low block because bang, people are on you within a second. And if you don't have your backup, your sweeper, then boss, you're in trouble. And that's where he gets found out, unfortunately. But that's most defenders in that circumstances that do that. You'd rather him play a high line. He is. I've seen criticism of him, and I don't agree with it. I'll be honest with you. I think we keep him 1,000,000%. It's just that whether or not he wants to stay.
Yeah, that's the thing. You never know. Changing
Absolutely.
sort of head of coach might change things for sure. Okay, what about someone who does suit a low block in Kurt Zouma?
Do you know what? I am feeling that we absolutely need to do a rebuild in our defense. I don't doubt that for 1 second whatsoever. And Zuma this season has given me so many frightening moments, but equally has given me some unbelievable performances. And how old is he, Russ? We got his age.
Oh, he's 30. I think he's 29. I think he's 29. I think he is.
Right. So I suppose there is an element of ruthlessness, and I'm trying to take that. So you can probably see I was maybe swaying on the side of keeping him. But I am concerned, and I think if money comes in, we need to take it. So yeah, I think I'm going to go into the sell camp.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think we need to sell one of them. We need to do either him or Aged. Preferably, I'd sell Zuma because I think we get, we'll probably get more money for Aged, but I'd sell Zuma because at the end of the day, I was talking to someone at work and I liken him to a clown's car. There's going to be a point in time where all the doors are going to fall off.
Yeah.
He looks like it looks like he is every time he goes to the pitch.
I genuinely don't actually understand him as a footballer. To be honest, I don't know how the guy functions, and I don't actually sometimes understand how he functions and does really well. I think sometimes he's underestimated because we do look at him and think he can't run, and he does do all the blocks, and he is borderline. He's probably the most no-nonsense defender we've got out of everyone there. But I think we need to move with the times, and I think that's where we start. And I don't think he's captain material.
No, and I don't think he'd suit if a new progressive manager came in or a new progressive head coach. Right? Okay, Oggy.
Do you know what? Thank you. I'll hold my hand up. I was skeptical right at the start. I was actually dead against him right at the start of his career at West Ham. It's taken him 4 or 5 years to really settle in the claret and blue, but he did settle like a fine Italian wine. He did settle, and he's done a good job, and he can do a good job, but he has to go.
Yeah, I agree. He has to be released. Definitely. And that's what I was saying. It's we've held on to a lot of these players for I think at least 2 or 3 seasons too long, and to the detriment of our squad. And I think once you get through, once we see all the who will keep and sell and release, it's clear our squad needs massive rebuild. Okay, another player who's apparently rejected a contract with us is Aaron Cresswell. Apparently, we've offered him a new deal, and he's going to reject it. What would we do?
He needs to go.
Yeah,
again, mutual agreement, mutual respect. Thank you very much for your service. And you'll always be welcome back to West Ham, but you do need to go. You nearly went last summer, but you need to go this summer. We can't rely on you. And I don't understand, and this is probably leading into the next player you're going to bring in here. We're offering Aaron Cresswell, who's at the tail end of his career, a new contract and paying him the wages probably well above what we were offering, we're probably discussing next. And it doesn't make financial
I don't get it.
Odd. I don't get it. So
yeah. I do not get it. Whether it is continuity with the new head coach coming in and having someone who's been there. If Cress and Agbonna go, are they? No, Antonio's still there from the last season of the bowling. But Cresswell's played so.
You don't need that.
No, you don't. I'm just wondering.
8 years ago.
I'm just wondering. There must be some reason why. And I can't see it. If he was a really good captain, then I could see it. But he's not captain. If he was still playing well, but I don't think he really is. And I agree totally. Let's talk about Ben then. What would you do with Ben?
100 million, gazillion, barillion, whatever number I can get to that's really high.
Sounds
Keep
good.
him.
It's a very high
He
number.
has got, he's young and he's got a lot of Premier League experience. And this is not talking about Sonny Perkins. This is
No.
not talking about Harrison Ashby. This is talking about a player that has had very good games in a West Ham shirt. And the only games, in my honest, genuine, humble opinion, that he's not played well in is when he's been asked to play out of position.
Yeah.
And I can't get my head around why we are looking at not even remotely meeting any expectations of what he's asking for. I understand football is the way it is, but we have a long history of paying players what the fuck they want, when they want, and how much they want. And you can just name a few. Yarmolenko, well over 100 grand.
Yeah.
Chicharito, Felipe Anderson, Vlasic. The list goes on and on and on. And we're not even willing to bring that gap closer. He's West Ham born and bred. He loves the club. He's been there. He's, you know, all that sort of stuff, Russ. You need. I mean, I'll be shocked. I still will be shocked. I'm hearing all the stories. I'm hearing he's had conversations with Rangers. I'm hearing Crystal Palace.
That's agent talking it.
No, I know, but I think there's. I don't deny whatsoever that there's absolutely clubs interested in Crystal Palace. It reminds me of the James Tompkins. We didn't need to get rid of James Tompkins at the time. I'm not saying James Tompkins was a world beater, but after we got rid of James Tompkins, we got injuries, as we do in centre back, and we fucking needed a James Tompkins.
I mean, you know, I'm not even funny. Bennett is second choice right back. He's probably second or third choice left back. He's second or third choice centre back. He's probably second or third choice right wing, second or third choice left wing. I mean, you know, and CDM as well. You know what I mean? And so there's no, you know, just for the sheer versatility, but also homegrown and academy quota. He counts for both as well, and that's a big issue.
I do think there's a player there. I don't think there's. I think there's a player there.
The only thing for me with Ben is because he's a jack of all trades, it's a detriment to him as a player because he'll always be a squad player. He might get a run of games playing right back after, you know, for a different manager, but he'll always be seen as a utility player, and that's a real issue in it for him in terms of his personal development. But for us, fuck it, he's staying here, and I totally agree what you mean in terms of, you know, if they're willing to pay that for Cresswell. Okay, Soufal.
It's an interesting one, right?
It is.
West Ham are going to keep him, right? And there's an element of why I would keep him, and keeping him is to try and develop the next. Well, no, do you know what? Fuck it. What are you thinking? We have to have this discussion because it's ours.
I would get rid of him.
Right, do you know what? I'll join you. I agree, and that's not a detriment to him as an individual.
It's not, but it's this. You know, it's been banged into us. You know, we've got the second oldest squad in the league, and Vlad is at the edge of a cliff at the moment, and we saw it with Zabaleta. He came in. He was brilliant. I know he's a few years older than Soufal was, but he was great. And then there was a moment where he just turned really crap against really fast players. And yes,
Newcastle, Anthony Gordon, he got
exactly, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to get to a point, you know. If the club, I mean, they have a 1-year extension, I would give him that. You know, if I was the club, yes, I'd give him that extension because it's in his contract. For me, if a club comes in for him, if Sparta Prague wants to, you know, or Slavia Prague wants to go home, let him go home because I think we've got some really exciting youth right backs in the club, and also I think we've got some. We could go out. For me, if he does stay, he needs to be the backup, not the number one right back.
Yeah,
you know, we're looking at Bellanova from Torino and places like that. That's who we need to get. You know, we need an Emerson on the right hand side. We've got one in the youth team. We've got Junior Robinson, who is like Carl Walker. He's brilliant, and I'd love him to, you know, get the step up if we can. Yeah, all right, and yeah, Vlad, all the best, mate. All the best, son. Now I put Tilo Kieran in. He's basically going to go anyway. It's an obligation to buy, and I think Monaco have got the stuff. So and that's already done. We can't do anything about that, you and me, as much as we'd like to, because I'd like to keep him. So
I think I would have kept him under.
I'd have kept him definitely, particularly if they go to a back three. Because his best position is right wing back, and Emerson's best position is left wing back. But unfortunately, it hasn't worked, and he moved on. Right. Let's. I think that most midfield we could probably get through quite quickly. I reckon.
Yeah, that's good.
Alvarez.
Keep 1,000,000%.
1,000,000%. Captain next year? Question mark.
It got definitely captain material, 100%. Definitely captain material. But I suppose, yeah, definitely up there.
I think
possibly a no-brainer. Yeah,
yeah, I think so. JWP.
Yeah, I would keep. Because sometimes with players, stats don't lie, and he has been effective. And I think whether he starts or comes off the bench, he's a fucking great option to change a game from absolutely nothing. And I think you need players like that. You need players like James Ward-Prowse. And in actual fact, I was actually really quite impressed with him in his last couple of games. Not the ones that we were getting beaten, but the ones we were taking closer. And when he came off the bench a couple of times, the energy level as well. So yeah, I would keep JWP.
Yep, I agree. I think also under a different manager again. Somebody he's not a CDM. So I think he'd flourish in a more progressive style of football. Definitely. Tommy Souček.
I would keep. I know people might out there would say no. But again, I know I'm not saying he needs to start, but I think he needs to be in the squad. What an option, Russ, to come off the bench.
Yeah.
It's so true. You can't, if we have to build a squad, so we have to be very mindful of not just getting rid of fucking everyone for the sake of doing it. So much Premier League experience, pivotal in specific games throughout seasons, but has scored a lot of goals and assisted goals, and they like playing with him. He keeps some form of that, consistency across the team, and he goes into the squad as such.
Yeah, no, I back that. As you said, it's a different option, isn't it? If again, I know we keep saying Ruben Amorim, but we're just using him as an example. If a Ruben Amorim comes in, Thomas Souček is the least Ruben Amorim player in the squad, but it's the type of player that if it all fucks up, you can throw him on with 10 minutes to go, 20 minutes to go, and go a bit old school. And there's a bit of mix. You can mix it up a little bit. I get that.
And equally, the other way around. Shut up shop if we need to. Really.
Yeah.
A bit of an option. You can cover a couple of areas. So yeah.
Flynn Downs.
Sell.
Yeah, I think it's. I think it's. I think so.
It's harsh. It's harsh because he didn't really get a shot, Russ.
No.
But I don't think we've got the time now to give him that chance, and I think we needed him, but it's not his fault to be that immediate, like the Alvarez-ish or even the Souček impact, but we didn't get that, and I know he's doing really well for Southampton, and I really wish him well, and if he does go, then I think he will flourish in their midfield because he's became a kind of main feature for them, isn't he?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and I think if Southampton go up, I think he'll stay there. I agree. It's one of those things where you don't like to see. It's certain players not cruel to be kind, but again, if we don't have Europe next year, and there's players already sniffing around because they're not getting enough football with European football still there, and we can have less games next year, and some players like Souček could probably survive being on the bench and coming on and half an hour here or whatever and the odd cup game. But I just think for Flynn, it's such a, you got to think is he like a week younger than Declan Rice, I think, or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think he would flourish. He's doing well at Southampton. They love him there. So that'd be good. Right. We'll just, obviously he's released. He's not coming back. Bless him. Okay. Let's talk about Paquetá.
Let's not be ridiculous here, though, right? Yeah. Oh, okay, he's not performed the last couple of weeks. I would absolutely keep him. It'd be one of the most. I think if we have a new manager, a progressive manager, we cannot get rid of Paquetá. But if he goes, because of this whole thing with Man City, then that is inevitable. However, let's not take away from the fact that Paqueta is a number one starter in the Brazil international team and has been phenomenal more times than he's been crap. And crap has came from the way that he's been utilized and in a team of defensive low block mindset. He's
But
not used to that.
been? But why the last 6 games has he been even more ineffective? I mean,
Well, Russ,
the last few games,
the question I asked you though is, do you think I hear people saying Guardiola won't pay £85 million based on the last 6 performances? Are you fucking joking me? Of course he's going to fucking pay £85 million because Guardiola's not stupid. Guardiola has seen that Paqueta is the player he is, who will come into a progressive, very fast-paced, very front-thinking, forward on the front foot team with a player who will create opportunities, who's got the backup behind him. He will, mate. He will.
But will he? What I'm saying is, will he? Lucas gives the ball away than anyone else in our team.
Because he plays in West. With all due respect, though, he is playing in our team. We've got players that don't think the same way. We don't. If you've got those forward players, if you've got Phil Foden,
fair play,
or fucking Erling Haaland ahead of you, and you know where Erling Haaland's going to be every single day of the week, and Phil Foden is unplayable right now.
Here we go. What happens here? Okay, we're Tim Steidham. Man City coming in with £85 million. What do you do?
If you're Tim Steidham and Man City come in with £85 million and we've brought in a progressive manager, £85 million doesn't guarantee you absolute fucking literally top-notch player. We've got a player with 2 years Premier League experience.
But you saw what he did with. We need players.
I know,
we need good players. We saw what happened with Declan Rice's money. We bought in essence 3.5 players in for what we spent on Declan Rice. We bought in Kudus, we bought in Alvarez, Mavropanos, and obviously JWP. It's roughly 3.5.
Yeah.
But
I tell you what, Russ, I'll make you a deal.
I'll make you
a deal. Let's come back to Paqueta based upon what we sell and release.
Okay.
Because then I'll let you know how much money we raise. And then
I like that. Let's leave them waiting to the end. I like that. Yeah, that's good for the watch time. Okay, let's go with. All right, let's go with we'll get the forward players now. Jarrod Bowen.
Have you not missed a midfielder?
Nope.
Number 17. Or you put him as a forward?
Number 17. Oh, you're talking about Court? No, he's a forward. Right, he's a forward, really.
Right, so
all right, we'll do. Okay, go on then. We'll do Cornet.
Right, sell. Yeah, but I'm not as even though I'm selling him on the basis of just I do feel for him. But anyway, it is what it is. And yeah, sell.
Okay. All right, we'll do it this way round. Okay, let's just do it this way. Okay. Ben Rama.
Sell. I think that's pretty much going to be.
I think. I mean, he's done all right with Leon. Leon done really well. I think Leon could sneak into Europe. Really, you talk about how a side has utilised the January transfer window. Leon has done that. They went out and bought lots of players. Had to pay a lot of money for them because they wouldn't sign for them because they were towards the bottom of the league. But they're now 8th. They beat Monaco. Tilo Kira, Monaco 3-2. I think Benny got a goal and assist and then was substituted. I think it's adios or au revoir.
Adios, amigo.
Because,
au revoir.
Okay, let's go with Bowen.
Keep, obviously.
Okay, that's a good idea. We do have him on a 7-year contract, so that's all right. Then. So we've protected his value for a little bit. Kudus.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, he's what's name won't come into effect until the 3rd transfer window after he's been sold, apparently. So that's next summer, I think it is.
Yeah.
So I think we're okay there. There was a little bit of a shit. Danny Ings.
Sell.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. I think he would do well. Southampton, they got promoted.
Yeah, probably go back to
like
Southampton.
Ipswich or something like that. I think he'd be a good buy. You'd probably get him for
Crystal
10
Palace.
million.
With all due respect as well, yeah.
But maybe.
The thing is, he just needs to go to a team that will play his way.
Yeah, plays with his type of striker there, definitely. Burnley, yeah, maybe. I mean, they're in the Championship though, weren't they? Probably.
Yeah.
No, I can see him going to like Southampton. Yeah, going back with maybe a double deal with Flynn Downs. Who knows?
Yeah.
Antonio,
keep. Now
yes,
I know that could be. Well, I don't know because I know you've been. Things have annoyed you about him and stuff like that.
No,
And
but I think
everyone,
it's ridiculous.
yeah.
I think it's ridiculous we let him go. Absolutely ridiculous. You know, he's
I just can't get my head around the fact. Yeah, sorry, go for it.
As I say, although he annoys the fuck out of me sometimes, but then which West Ham player doesn't sometimes? I mean, he is. It will be absolute lunacy to let him go.
Yeah,
absolute lunacy. You know, because the only issue with Antonio is Antonio.
Yeah,
is. You know, will he be happy to be a bit part? Will be happy to be an impact sub? I personally don't think he will.
I don't think he will on the basis of some of the comments he made when we brought Scamacca in. However, if you look at how this season's gone, you know, he's not been a bit part and he was never really ever going to be a bit part. And I think under any manager, you'd be absolutely fucking losing the plot to get rid of
a player. But he will
like
be with a new manager.
Every manager.
Yeah, but a new manager who comes in or a new head coach comes in, they'll be bringing they'll want a early mid-20s number 9, really.
Absolutely.
You know, someone,
but
he will be impact, and so
absolutely.
It's up to him whether he wants that.
And he's your secret weapon for that, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. But as you said, you know that he's
it's what he wants. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, he said he wanted someone to come in and challenge him. Someone did come in and challenge him, and he threw his toys at the pram, wanted to leave. Yeah. So that's the trouble with him. I mean, Fabianski did the same thing beginning of the year. Don't forget, didn't he?
Yeah.
He had that big interview. Divine Mbama obviously comes to his end of his contract in the summer.
Yeah. I would keep. I can see why maybe some people would say release, but I want to trust in the academy. I've been a bit disappointed, not just in him, but I think it's unfair to judge him on the fact that, and I know you go and watch the 21s a lot, but he's been pulled from pillar to post this season, literally from pillar to post. And when you're a young lad like that, and you're getting consistent games and game time, regular game time, to then sit on a bench, and then pull back into a 21s or 23s game, etc., to then your demeanor can change. And I only know that on the basis of I'm dealing with it now with my nephew. He's a lot younger, but he's pulled from pillar to post. And I can see how that has a detrimental impact on you until you get regular game time. And when you get regular game time, you get the buzz. And you can never, ever judge someone like that at that age until they've had some form of run. So for me, I would keep him. I'm intrigued to see what you say, though.
I'll release him.
Yeah, I think you would.
I've seen enough of him as a character. Just his demeanor. You know, it's like when I said I do watch him. You know, the under 21s quite a bit, and you know, there's no escaping the fact that there is every game. Every under 21s game, there is David Moyes or Billy McKinley or Mark Robson or Rob Newman the other week watching the academy, taking notes, and they're willing. And when he was playing, they you could see. I remember watching Billy McKinley literally willing Divine to do stuff on the touch side, and every time it's like, oh, fuck. You know, I think he, and then he hasn't a lot of opportunities granted. But I just, for me, the academy. I think he's taking Callum Marshall's spot in the squad. I know it's quite harsh, but I think
no.
He is.
I know, and this is our keep, sell, release. So we'll go with your one. So
it is. I just think. You know. Also, the fact is, if he is, you know, looking at not signing a new deal, the only club that's come in from him is potentially Sunderland.
Yeah.
It's not Arsenal, it's not Spurs, and Declan Rice is at Arsenal. You know, Declan Rice is apparently talking to Arteta about how good Ben Johnson is as a squad player. So you think he'd have a little word, you know, and he hasn't. So, and again, it's one of those things where I think agents get in players' heads as well, and it's a little bit Sonny Perkinsy, I think.
Yeah.
And
go on then, put him in there.
Yeah, I'm going to put him in there. Yes. Okay, right. So, Lucas,
Well,
money's still on the table. Pep's still got the money on the table.
So let's give a reserved price.
Yeah.
Let's be reserved price on the players we're going to sell. So Zuma.
All right. I'll make calculations.
Zuma, what are we going to get? 10?
Yeah, let's put 10. That's been generous. I reckon we'll get 15, but put 10 in as a ballpark.
Right, but I think we have to be reserved.
Yeah,
and then we can add an extra 5 on if we need to. Yeah. Safal, 5.
Yeah. Kira, I think it's 10. I think it's 10 it's in for. Flynn, say we sell him to Southampton. They've just been promoted.
10? What do we buy him for?
We bought him for 10, didn't we? I reckon 12 and a half.
12 and a half, right? Okay, go 12 and a half. Yeah.
12 and a half. Cornet, how much will we have to pay the other side to take him?
I think we might have to pay. This could be one dodgy one, but I think we need to give him some credit where it's true. I think if he's 5, I mean, we can't.
Okay.
He's not gonna
yeah.
All right. Go fucking nothing, man.
Yeah, 5. Okay then. Ben Rama, I've got a feeling it's 17 off the top of my head. Yeah. It's for them.
But I tell you what, though, we've been quite reserved on the rest of them, so just round it up to 20.
Okay, say 20. I mean, that's fair play for that, I'd say. Danny,
10?
10, yeah, probably 10, I'd say. Right, so we'll round it up, say 75 million.
Right,
so the 6 of them.
But we don't need, right, and then we will have money to spend on top of the 75 mil. Right?
Yeah.
Plus, we will have saved a shitload of money on wages. A shitload of money on wages. Because a lot of those players that
Danny's on 100, yeah, because I mean Danny and Zuma are the two big earners, aren't they? So that's about £250,000 you save a week. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. So say 75. So I mean, I have no idea what we've got yet, budget wise. 100 million maybe budget.
Right, so let's say there's 100 million plus 75 million, 175 million pounds, right? Now let's look at what we've got to keep. We've got 12 players for squad we've kept. Right. So we need a lot of money to build. Yeah. We probably need another minimum 6, 7. Minimum.
Realistically, let's think about it. This is brilliant. I love this. This is a great show. So realistically, there'll be a number of players from the academy being pushed up as well into the squad. That's without a shadow of a doubt. They have to, just even for the numbers, because we'll have Ben Johnson, we'll have 1 academy player. And we need 4, I think it is, in the squad. So that's part of the reason why Trott and Anang were sort of hanging around. Yeah. And obviously Divine as well. So, so realistically, George Earthy will probably get the call up and be more in the first team squad than elsewhere. Kaelan Casey probably will be as well. For me, Judy Robinson.
Either way, though, Russ, we're going to need a good strong.
Oh,
because our biggest issue is, you look at those 12 players there, and of that 12, but of that 12, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 start.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
So we don't even have enough. Like, we need 4 first teamers, let alone building the squad. So yeah, I know they're going to want money. I get that, and I think we need to have that money as the war chest for a potential new manager. But the difference is, if you add, put Pakistan that keep list, then you've got an 8th player who comes in and we know what he gives you, and can £175 million fill out the spot for 5 or 6 more players based upon Steiden's record. I don't know. I've tried to build it in a practical manner.
Yeah.
But I can see both sides of the argument, because I also believe, I totally believe in, there's a reason why you should sell your best players to build models of clubs all over the world.
That's the model we're trying to work towards, though, isn't it? It is we buy players at a reasonable price, and if Kudus was on the open market in the summer, you're looking at probably about 75, 80 million.
Yeah,
I'd say roughly. Alvarez, you're looking at least 60 million, I'd say, for him, 50, 60 million, if not more. You never get as much, obviously. I know Declan Rice went for 100 and something. So, yeah, I think I can see both. we'll keep that one. We'll keep that one in the Ethernet. That one in terms of
maybe put him in. Can you put him in the middle of the two? Can you split him in two? Right there.
We'll put him there.
Because I think if West Ham, I genuinely believe if West Ham think they can keep him, they would. And but equally though, I think fans are a bit fickle to think that we won't get £85 million for a player of his quality. I think we will.
Well, it's the minimum release. It's the release clause, isn't it? If there's four, it's not just if City, United, PSG, and Juventus all come in for him, which is what we're led to be believed. There's at least four clubs looking at him. Yeah. Then he will go for a minimum of £85 million.
Yeah. Sorry, I mean it on the basis of people won't bid on him, which I highly doubt. I think they will.
I think it will. I think it will be. There will be hopefully a bit of a fight for him. Yeah, it's quite interesting when you put it like that, isn't it? When you put in that sort of into the camps, you go, yeah, we know there's a big rebuild job on the horizon this summer.
We've just got rid of. If you think about what we've just done there, there's 7 and 6, 13, 30. We're getting rid of 13 minimum, possibly 14 players if you include Paquetá there.
And obviously it takes two to tango. So, the likes, someone might not want to buy Kurt Zouma, for example.
Yeah.
But there we go.
And to be honest with you, there's players there in the sell list that probably won't be gone, and there's probably players there in the keep list that probably will be gone. So that's a concern. But that's the one I care about the most is the keep one, isn't it?
It is.
And there's probably players on the release one that will probably stay. We'll probably offer Creswell and Oggy a new.
Well, we've offered Crest a contract, but he wants to go back up north, innit? Looks like to Wolves potentially. Anyway, well, that was a bit of fun, bit different, isn't it? Bit different.
There you go.
And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to let us know in the comments who you'd keep, who you'd sell, who you release. Let's get some interaction in the comments, and maybe we'll do a reacts to it.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a reacts to your comments as well on that. Holly did one yesterday, so that was a good reacts video actually. And keep it on the channel. Obviously, we've got all the stuff getting ready for the Chelsea game coming up at the weekend. Dave Moyes press conference tomorrow. We actually will have quite a cool interview coming up soon with a couple of guys who've written a book about the academy. And one being a former academy player, Callum McNaughton. They're going to be coming on. They'll probably do that on Saturday. So keep an eye on that. It'll be interesting talking about the academy. And they've interviewed loads of players who haven't made it in the academy, like Joe Seeley and Bertie Brayley and things like that. So it should be a really cool book actually. Yeah, that's one of my holiday books.
There you go.
I've already bought it. It's one of my holiday books. Indeed. And don't forget, if you want to get yourself sorted, Alloy Collectors. Get down there, link in the description below, and West Ham Network viewers get 25% off. WHN 25 at checkout. And there's some really cool ones are coming out as well. Obviously, that's this season. So they did the goalkeeper home and the outfield home. But they're going to be doing a lot of retro kits as well.
And genuinely, I was talking about it in today's video when we haven't opened ours yet because I'm going to get Freddie to open it. But I've got that collector's vibe, that, Russ, with the football cards that we collect. And I know the reason why I've held off on opening it is because I know I'm probably going to spend quite a bit of money on it. And I can envisage an area when I do the office properly of where I would have them all lined up. And honestly, I think it's a really quality product. Plus, what was cool is when we were down, they're actually in the shop. So
they are, but you can get them cheaper going for the actual
WHN 25.
And until then, don't forget to like, comment, share, and all that stuff. And for myself, Mr. Baker, take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and we'll see you soon. Irons!